Y'all, I'm Hope here at Crafty Hope, and welcome. This is my day 8, the final day, or part 8 of altering a little board book that I have been working on as part of the 100-day project and my hashtag not precious project. So I've been taking items from my stash that I had deemed too precious to use in anything, and I'm trying to use them. So this book is full of those items. So I'll direct you here up in the upper right corner to day 1 or part 1 of my altering this book, and at the end of this video you'll see a link to the whole playlist. I will try to make sure that playlist is there at the end of the video. In any case, this one went by really quickly. I really just needed to finish the back cover and the spine. And you can see for the spine, I decided to add, that's a stick that fell off an oak tree in my yard. And I have clipped it down to go along the spine to add just a little bit more texture on the spine. And y'all, did you see what I used to clip it down? There are toenail clippers for like dogs that I got at the Dollar Tree. I saw that hack from somebody. They're great for cutting like thin dowels and things like that, but sticks work great too. So the way this board book opens, there's a bit of an opening in between the spine and the rest of the pages. So I've got a bit of, I think it's 22 gauge rusty wire. It's from I think I got it on Amazon. I will link it if it's still available. It's really supposed to be a decorative item, like you're supposed to have the wire sitting there or something. It's not really supposed to be used as wire. But it's rusty wire. I gotta use it. So I cut it down to a manageable length. You saw I inserted it through that hole in the back, and then I put it through the top of the lace so that the lace isn't bending over. And now I'm wrapping on this branch, this little stick. So you can see how I do this. I'm going to kind of go around it in some places, twist down it. I do not want this to be neat or uniform or anything like that. My whole thing was really just to kind of get this stick to stick on there. So there's nothing fancy about this. See here, I think I'm going to try to go, I'm going to go back around it a little bit more and then go back through and just kind of work this. Yep, I'm going from the bottom one, I'm going back up to the top, and then I will pull that tight. Now, I will admit that a portion of this stick did break. But it's kind of the risk of taking it. But this is not glued. It is not permanent. All I really have to do is take some wire cutters and clip that wire down. If I want to change it out for something else or decide to take it off or anything, it's definitely not a permanent piece on there. So I don't know what I'm doing here. Looking at it, studying it, trying to decide exactly how I want to wrap it to make it a bit more sturdy, because it was still feeling kind of floppy. There's me just working something. And I think what I do with so that's one end of that, and I'm tucking it there behind, around and then behind the stick, so that the bare end, the pokey part of the wire isn't sticking out for anybody that does try to handle this. With this other piece, that's what I decide to do. So I'm going to wrap it a little bit more. And what I decide to do is to stick it down into that behind the spine, backstage. Whatever you want to call it, just in that little area where that wire isn't going to be coming out. So that was it. For the back of this, I knew I wanted to put a key, so I picked that out beforehand. And that's all I really knew, because my last page on there says, "Believe you are the key." And in the front cover, you can see has that keyhole. So I was like, okay, there has to be a key in here somewhere. So this comes together super quickly. I decided to give the key some wings. So these are, they're like gold colored rub-ons. They're from the Dollar Tree. And I thought that they would be kind of neat. Now, I'm going to go ahead and admit that they don't show up real well. I'm gonna rub these on here, and unless you turn this book in a certain light, you don't really see the wings. This back cover I'm keeping super simple. It is the back. It's kind of like an afterthought almost. It's not where on any book, it's not where all the pretty stuff tends to go. But I wanted to include a key, so it's going back here. So I studied this for a while, thinking about where I wanted those wings, and I knew that the wings would show up a little bit better, that gold, if it was on a darker surface. So I am going to pull in my Stabilo All Pencil and trace this key just a little bit. This is going to give me a little bit of that dark that I want, along with lining it up where I need it to be, so I know where to put down that rub on. So it's kind of a twofer here. So that I get, several things. I know where my wings need to go, and I get that little bit of dark that I want. So I'm going to bleed this out. I'm using a lot of water on that brush to kind of bleed that out, keeping my lines for where that key's gonna fit in there. This is very, I guess, Harry Potter vibes. If you've seen the first one, you know what I'm talking about. When I talk about a key with wings. So, all right, so I'm gonna dry that, I think, real quick, and then go ahead and do the rub-on. Now, these rub-ons come with a film on the back. Y'all, the first time I used some of these from the Dollar Tree, I didn't realize that there was this, like, tiny bit of film on the back, and I rubbed and rubbed. It was for one of my iCats, I believe, and could never get that film, that rub-on to rub on, because, y'all, I didn't pull the film off. Like such a goober. So make sure if you get those rub-ons, you do check and see if it's got a film. I am using a popsicle stick, but you can use anything. You can use the size of your scissors, or a what are they called? Orange sticks for your nails, or a bone folder, or anything like that. But a popsicle stick works pretty well. It was handy. So I'm going to rub that, and I keep checking to make sure that the whole thing is sticking. Yeah, I'm going to check, and I'm like, nope, let's rub it some more right there. So I think that's one of the benefits of this rubbing, especially if you take it slow, you can pull up a little and see what's not sticking, what is. I am, and I'll tell you now, I am going to add a little bit of fluid matte medium to the top of it. You could use any kind of like sealer over the top of it, some Mod Podge, whatever, just to make sure it doesn't like rub off eventually, because it is just a Dollar Tree rub on. It's not, something super fancy. Okay, so I think I finally decided that I am okay with it as it is. And I'll grab some E6000 here in just a second and put that on my key so I can stick it to my book. No, first I'm going to use that matte gel medium. Now, while I am doing that, since I've already told you these next couple things, at the end of this, when I finish doing this back cover, I am going to do a flip through of this little book. I realized that I did not do that in this at any point, or explain some of my thought process with this, because I had a very specific, like, as I worked my way through it, I was like, oh, what would be cool? So I'm going to share that with y'all. So this might feel like it gets cut off abruptly, but it's not. It's just this finishing up. So I think I've just got, so here's my little bit of E6000 on my key. I'm going to stick it on there. I step away for a second to let it kind of cure. You're not really going to see that because of the way I edited this. But then I'm going to come in with a jelly roll pen. It's the Stardust one. So basically it's just like a glitter pen. And I go around the inside of this and then trace the outside. I'm trying to just add a little bit of sparkle magic to this. I'll even rub this like in the corners a little bit to get some of that glitter just on the page. So I'm going to kind of rub it and smear it out just a little bit. Oh, I'm making some little, yeah, I made some little marks, but I think I didn't like them. Um, yeah, that's what I did. I did some little marks and decided that I didn't like them. Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit of music for you here as I finish these last little things up, and then I'll be back in just a two shakes to show you the whole book. It is real-time hope here popping in. I realized I never did a final flip through of this little board book and the story that I feel like it contains. So I thought I'd do that real quick and share it with y'all. I'm coming to y'all. This is day 73 that I'm recording this. So it's 55 days from the day I finished this. So let me share with you. So on the front here, we have this keyhole and some buttons and just some nice little textural elements. You can see this book does not close. I'm glad I made this cord as long as I did. So we're going to start with the keyhole here and open up to this picture of these kids and the little bit of mushroom, and it's all kind of sepia toned and dull, and it says show them the secret place. And then you flip to the next one. It's a couple other little kids. These have some wings in them, but they're very young, baby type. And it says, your imagination is your only limitation. So show them the secret place. Your imagination's your only limitation. And then we come to this one. It says, watch out for magic. And I've got the glitter that moves around in that little watch face. Can you see it? I hope that's coming across in camera. And it's got all these little moving elements, the bells, and just, you know, this one had this darker blue kind of seeping in, and here's got a bit of a brighter blue and a green. And here we've got this bright yellow. We've got the green and the yellow, and it says endeavor to possess it. So we've got the little fairy reaching up, maybe to get the feather, maybe to just reach for something else. And then this last page is full of color, and it says, believe you are the key. And like I said, it's got all of these little bright elements. It's a lot brighter than any of the, I mean, this one's pretty bright, but it's just kind of, you know, just the yellow. This one, I made sure all the colors are in it. And then on our last page where I say, here we say, you are the key. And on the back, here is the key with our wings on it. And of course the spine has this wired on stick, which to me is just kind of reflects some of the natural elements we have in here. The moss and the mushrooms, all of this has very natural elements in every step of it. So that's it. It's all about kind of knowing that your imagination and the magic can be found if you go out there and try to get it, and it's in you because you are the key. So that is that whole thing. I'll give you some pictures of what the final back and spine kind of look like. And I hope you enjoyed this. Next up for my 100-day project, I believe I worked on my snippet roll. That's going to be another long process one. So I hope y'all are enjoying these. And if you like this, thumbs up, subscribe, all those things. It really helps me out. And I will see y'all later. Thanks. Bye.